As promised, what's going on, folks? Welcome to the second part of a new episode of Strong Arm Sports, and most importantly, the first video of Strong Arm Sports here on our own channel. If you don't already know, man, I'm K-Spade the Prospect. This knucklehead with me.
I'm your boy LaParis57, and as usual, together we form Strong Arm Sports. Let's go, Spade.
Man,
This is the NBA trade frenzy show. You know what I'm saying? Everything happened crazy during this week. Want me to kick it off?
Yeah, man, I'm still over here taking notes. You go ahead. Let's go.
All right, so first, for starters, I want to talk about the Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat acquired Goran Dragic from the Suns in a 3-team deal with the Pelicans. They also sent Norris Cole to the Pelicans. I think Danny Granger and a guy named Hamilton and a bag of Funyuns. So, Spade, how do you feel about this trade? Do you think Miami is a problem now? How you feeling?
Definitely. Listen at this starting five. Now, we got to go back in time because now we know Bosh is out. But this is draft day. Listen at this starting five. Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, Luol Deng, Chris Bosh at the 4, which is where he belongs. And the new kid that everybody's talking about, Hassan Whiteside at the 5. That team right there is definitely a playoff team in the East. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a solid squad. Now, on a serious note, I knew you was always a fan of Norris Cole. Norris Cole with the Pelicans. How you think that's going to work out? You know, Drew Holiday, he's going through some little injuries. He's out for probably another 3 weeks. How do you think Norris Cole fits in with them?
I think he helps a lot, man. I mean, you see Anthony Davis down there trying to do everything he can on that squad. They need more scorers. And the one thing we know about Norris is a little small guy, but he got the heart of a lion, man. He will attack that basket. And if he can get into his groove, that jumper is pretty lethal too. I've seen a lot of this guy, being the Heat fan I am. I like him. I believe he's got a pretty bright future. And I think he's going to help New Orleans. I really do.
And let me tell you another thing. You know, when you're in a losing team, a lot of times people be like, we have to change the culture, and people be like, what that mean? Norris Cole is used to winning. He's played with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. He was in the finals. He won championships. He knows what it needs to take to win, and maybe he can instill that in some of the guys over there with the Pelicans, because I'm not saying they don't know how to win, but maybe they just need to change the culture, and maybe Norris Cole could. Maybe Norris Cole can help change the culture over there. So I definitely, I think I like that trade for all parties, except for the Suns, Spade. What are the Suns doing?
What do you mean? The Suns are in perfect place. Perfect. The Suns are doing good, man.
You just saying that because you got Goran Dragic. But let's move on. We're going to talk about the Suns later, and I want to see if you still agree with your statement right there. Let's talk about the Thunder. Let's talk about the Thunder, because they also made a bunch of moves, and I ain't talking about the Waiters move. So they traded Reggie Jackson to get Cantor, DJ Augustine, Kyle Singler, Nick Novak in a 3-team trade, and I want to know Steve Novak. I want to know, how do you feel about that trade? Like, do you think that make the contenders? I mean, the contenders. Do you think that make the Thunder, contenders in the West? You know, they currently sitting in the 8th spot.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, this Thunder team, they're a team that I can't count out anyway. As long as they got Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, I can't count them out anyway. But KD's having some injury issues. Russell's having what some could argue is an MVP season, but let's face it, as the season goes on, especially in these playoff series, one guy can't do it. And they're going to need some other scoring. They brought in Dion Waiters. They made the decision to continue to let Dion come off the bench. I understand it. They want some scoring off the bench. They want a spark. But they still needed some other pieces. And I feel like of that package they got, Cantor could be the biggest thing, man. This guy here
I agree.
I think he's a great player for him. He's not the best offensive player, but at the same time savvy enough to get the ball in the hoop. But what he brings to him in terms of rebounding and defending, not Kendrick Perkins. Not saying he's a rim protector, but not really protecting the rim. I mean, this guy is really a rim protector and a pretty good rebounder. I think he's the gem in that deal, man.
I agree with you 100%. I think Cantor could kind of do what Mozgov did for the Cavs. And it, you look at what Mozgov did for the Cavs, and you're like, well, he really ain't do nothing. He's a rim protector. He's a big body.
Yeah, he's doing a lot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. But a lot of people be like, well, they had LeBron, so of course. But I think Kanter could be that for the Thunder. I think it gives Serge Ibaka more room to roam now, because now he can get more. He can roam and get more blocks because Kanter is probably defending. Not probably. He will be defending the bigger body. Like, for example, I think tonight they played the Hornets, and they got to go up against Big Al Jefferson, which I think will be Kanter's job. And I mean, he can get a lot of offside, a lot of blocks from the weak side, and I think that would definitely make the Thunder, a better team. But I'm gonna tell you who's my sleeper that the Thunder got. I think they got DJ Augustine. They got DJ Augustine, and I think he's a pretty efficient point guard coming off the bench, backing up Russell Westbrook. He played for my Chicago Bulls. You already know when Derrick Rose was out, DJ Augustine kept us in a lot of games. He's an elite scorer. Like, he can score. He can score the basketball. Yeah, so I definitely think that is definitely another good pickup, and the Thunder is definitely a team to watch. Now, Spade, you was talking about the Suns.
I was trolling a little bit.
The Suns, now you was trolling. The Suns actually made a trade for themselves. They actually got Brandon Knight from the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks get Michael Carter. It's going to get hectic because a lot of things happen. So the Suns got Brandon Knight. The Bucks got Michael Carter Williams in a 3-team trade with Philly. I think Philly got a draft pick and some Funyuns too. I think they got a Philly cheesesteak. Somebody bought them a Philly cheesesteak. But I want to know, do you see Brandon Knight as being, upgrade from Gordon Dragic with the Suns? What were the Suns doing?
No, I can't say that. Now, I will say this. Dragic's numbers are down this year. I think it's down because he's unhappy. I mean, last year this guy was averaging 20 points a game, like 8 boards, and
let me cut you off, Spade. Let me cut you off because he's unhappy because the Suns also made another trade. Dragic was unhappy because they bought in Isaiah Thomas, who they just traded away to the Celtics for Marcus Thornton. What the heck? So,
and you know what?
That's why Dragic was unhappy. But continue your point.
In one day, the Suns went from having too many point guards to too few guards. Too few point guards. So now the only 2 point guards on the team would be Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. And last I heard, they was talking about playing Brandon Knight off ball, which I don't really know how that's going to work. That's a small-ass backcourt. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But what I mean, first of all, I don't understand why the Suns bought in Isaiah Thomas to start with. I don't know why they bought him in anyway, which led to Gordon Dragic being unhappy, which led to both up. If you bought in Isaiah Thomas, why would you trade Isaiah Thomas? But that's neither here nor there. I don't know what the Suns are doing over there. Hopefully, now let me tell you something. I do like Brandon Knight. Brandon Knight could have been potentially an all-star this year right here. And I mean, he's averaging 18 points, 5 dimes, 4 rebounds. I mean, those are pretty good numbers for a point guard.
Those are great numbers, actually. Those are great numbers.
Yeah, for a point guard playing with Milwaukee when your number 1 pick, Jabari Parker, was injured. So Brandon Knight has been holding his own, and I actually like Brandon Knight as a player. I don't know if he's going to stay with Phoenix the way Phoenix do business. I don't know if he's going to stay over there, but I actually like Brandon Knight. How do you feel about Michael Carter Williams with the Bucks, though?
Well, I tell you what, I like him being there as opposed to Philadelphia because there's a few other people in Milwaukee that actually tries. You get him matched up with the Greek Freak, who knows what their future could be. And then, like you said, we haven't seen Jabari yet. We haven't seen Jabari, what we feel like Jabari is or what he could be. So who knows, man? Milwaukee did just cut ties with Larry Sanders, so I don't know what they're gonna do in terms of a big out there. I thought they would have made a move for a big that day. I was surprised to see that they didn't.
Well, as far as Michael Carter Williams with the Bucks, a lot of people are saying that Michael Carter Williams remind people of Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is the coach over there. I don't know if they're going to keep Michael Carter Williams. They probably will because I think Jason Kidd likes the guy, but you know, Michael Carter Williams, his stats could be inflated because he played in Philly. He was the only guy over there trying. So, you know, he took a lot of shots. You know, he crashed the boards because wasn't nobody else rebounding. Got a lot of assists. So we have to see how Michael Carter Williams will pan out with a good team like the Bucks, who is currently sitting in the playoffs in the East right now.
Oh yeah.
Actually got a pretty good record. So we have to keep our eye on that moving forward. Aaron Aflalo was actually traded to Portland for Thomas Robinson, Will Barton and Victor Cleaver, I think his name is Cleaver, whatever. But Aaron Aflalo, how do you feel about that? Like, I think they needed some depth, but I mean, they have Wes Matthews. How do you feel about Aflalo?
Yeah, I'm shocked about that. I mean, we all saw Aaron Aflalo go to Orlando for a little while and be that guy. And then again, it goes back to what you just said about Michael Carter Williams. When you're on a team with no scorers, your offensive numbers are inflated. And, you know, he did a second stint with Denver, and he wasn't really what they expected to get from him. So what we do know is when he's in a role when he can the ball goes through him, he looks pretty good. That won't be his role in Portland. And I don't even know how much playtime he's going to get in Portland behind Wesley Matthews, who's a sniper himself. So I don't know, man. I feel like that's a gamble right there. I know they need depth. I know they want more shooters, but there are some guys, I hate to use this example, but I think of Mike Miller. You know, Mike Miller can come in, spot up, and make those shots. He don't really need to get hot or get warmed up. But Aaron Aflalo hasn't really shown that that's who he is. He wants to get those shots up. You know what I'm saying? So plus mentally, I don't know if he wants that role. So only time will tell. Right now, I'm not sold on that move at all.
I mean, I'm not sold on it either because I happen to like Wes Matthews, and I just think this was Portland trying to get some depth for right now. I don't know if Aflalo is going to stay there long term, but I just think that's a move for right now. They need some depth coming off the bench. Those young gunners that they, drafted, CJ McCollum, and they drafted another kid. I can't remember his name. It was another guard that they had, and I just think they haven't showed up. So they needed some depth off the bench, and I think Aaron Aflalo provides that for right now. I don't know if he's going to be there long term because I think Wes Matthews. I think they line up with Wes Matthews. We have to see if the trade pans out and help them in the playoffs. Now, Spade, I can't believe this happened. The Nets traded Kevin Garnett to the T-Wolves for Thaddeus Young. What is what the heck are the Minnesota Timberwolves doing?
Jokes aside, man, the only thing I can figure, I thought Kevin Garnett was going to be ready to hang up the sneaks, and, he wanted to hang him up where his career started. I'm hearing reports that his contract is up this year. Minnesota's going to do another one-year contract with him. I'm not sure why. Kevin Garnett's only highlight for this entire season is punking out Dwight Howard. When you play professional basketball and your highlight don't have a damn thing to do with playing basketball, it's time to hang it up, man. And I don't want to see this KG. I don't like this KG. He's not who I remember, man. And they're saying that they want him to be, he's going to be in a leadership role. They want him to, charge up the young guns out there, get them hype. And I'm not even sure. I don't know, man.
Does that mean Minnesota bringing back Marbury too? Like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Said, you can hang that up. Marbury over there being fed sushi right now. He's Gucci.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back,
man. I mean, I keep getting them checks, Kevin. I ain't hating, but I
hang
don't
him up,
understand. Kevin. Thad Young, he was one of the best players for Minnesota. I mean, like I said, it ain't accumulating the wins over there, but he was he's a good player. He's a good, solid player, and to get Kevin Garnett, I guess, is for the leadership because I'm pretty sure he won't be playing big minutes over there in Minnesota. So I think the Nets got the better of that deal, in my opinion. But moving forward, let's talk about the Hornets. The Hornets also made a trade before all this frenzy happened. The Hornets traded Gary Neal to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Mo Williams, which I didn't even know happened. When I was looking up trades and writing my notes, I was like, wait a minute. The Hornets got Mo Williams, which I think is an amazing trade for the Hornets.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
Kimba went down. And I think Bit Roberts, I think his name is Bit Roberts, he was starting point guard for the Hornets. And I mean, for them to get Mo Williams, I think that's an amazing trade that probably happened under the radar. I don't think anybody seen that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Mo can get buckets, man. Mo, he's one of those guys that, he's a scorer. It's crazy. We don't say that about short people, but Mo's a scorer, man. You can put him in any offense, whether he understands the plays or not. He know how to shoot. He going to get buckets. So, the Hornets are fighting for one of those last place spots in the East, and they needed it. So I think it's a good move for them.
Okay, another trade that happens, babe. Trying to run through them. Another trade happened was the Nuggets sending JaVale McGee to the Sixers for the draft rights of some guard overseas, a guy that's probably not going to be coming over here for a couple of more years. But the Sixers get another big man. How do you feel about that?
And another draft pick. The Sixers got more draft picks than players on their roster, probably, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Ain't no probably. I'm pretty sure they do. What are the Sixers doing?
I wish I knew. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. So you're looking at a team that's going to have, at some point, JaVale McGee, Nerlens Noel, and Joel Embiid. I don't know, man. I mean, they did bring in Isaiah Cannon to run the point guard.
They did.
So
they did trade for Isaiah Cannon from the Rockets for KJ McDaniels. So, I mean, do you see Isaiah Cannon be in their future at point? When you had Drew Holiday, you had Michael Carter Williams, and you trade for Isaiah Cannon? He's just starting point guard now?
He gotta be.
Man. Well, he got to be the point guard by default. They don't have anybody else. It's crazy, man. I just feel for Philly fans, man. I don't know what Philly is doing. Like, everybody
Nobody
they draft
knows what Philly is doing, bro.
I don't think Philly know what they're doing. But everybody they draft seems to be injured, and they sit out the year they was drafted in.
Right.
And then you go trade for Mr. Shaq and the Fool himself, JaVale McGee.
And here's the thing I don't understand. They keep getting all these draft picks. I hope they got their eyes on people that they want, because most of these picks are going to be late first, mid, second round picks. It's not like they got a lot of top picks. It's going to be late round picks. So, I mean, I don't know, man. And then at some point, you still want some older leadership on your team. You don't want a team full of rookies. You don't want 2/3 of your team to be able to play in the Rising Stars game in All-Star Weekend. And that's exactly where they're headed.
Word. And Spade, last but not least, in the keep getting them checks version of the show, along with Kevin Garnett, the Kings send Sessions to the Wizards for Andre Miller. Andre, keep getting them checks, Andre Miller.
Andre Miller, KG is something totally different. Andre Miller can survive out there because he's never been athletic. His game is not based around athleticism. He that old man at the rec that just go out there and you just wonder how he getting buckets. He got his pants all up here. He got them long ass socks on. He just getting buckets. Andre Miller, he got another 3 years in the league, man. Andre what? 38, 39?
Gotta be. He ain't 40 yet. He seems like he was in the league forever.
Let's switch it up, man.
Okay.
We've talked about some of the big trades. Of course, we haven't talked about them all because it's a lot of them, and some of them we don't feel like are that big a deal. But I want to ask you, let's break it down, man. Single player trade, what was the best one that you saw, in your opinion, on the draft deadline day?
Well, the best trade will have to, in my opinion, go to the Thunder. I think that what the Thunder did was amazing. I think that helps their team tenfold. I think that definitely makes them a problem in the Western Conference. I mean, and if I'm Golden State, I'm hoping Durant gets healthy and they're able to move up above the Spurs or somebody else, because if I was Golden State, I would not want to play the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 1-8 playoff in the first round. I wouldn't want to see them guys. Who do you think?
I mean, I can agree with that, and I definitely would give them my best team grade, but my best individual trade grade, I got to give it to the Heat, man, for bringing in Goran Dragic. That play right there, that move, it instantly made the Heat, I mean, because they're in that spot too. It's about 3 teams in the East. It's all right there vying for that 8th place spot. And before Bosh went down, that move instantly made Miami in. Now, we got to wait and see how things go. We don't know whether or not Wade is healthy, healthy enough, should I say, to stick with this team and help this team get where they need to be. And now we know it's been confirmed that they got to play the rest of the season without Chris Bosh. It may not. And then again, when you think about it, this may actually save that team, bringing in Dragic. It could save that team. So, yeah, still, I want to say my best trade of the day, I want to give it to Dragic and the Heat. But I agree with you, my best overall trade grade, I got to give it to OKC as well. I believe the moves they made that day, like I said, man, I'm jumping the gun, but I feel like it made them the deepest team in the West, which ultimately, I got to say, made them the best team in the West.
Yeah, I might have jumped the gun a little bit myself. Best player, I agree with you, is definitely Dragic to the Heat. But best team, I would say Thunder. So we kind of agree right there. Anything else you got?
Yeah, man. So let's do the same thing with worst. What was your worst player trade? And then we'll also speak on the team we gave the worst grade to. So, in your opinion, the worst player trade, what was that for you? Because I'll go first while you think about it. I don't understand why Philly traded Michael Carter-Williams. This guy was averaging 15 and 8 for that team. He was the best player on the court in that 76er uniform every night. And I just don't understand. He was the rookie of the year. And he's young, and he's everything that you would think this team wants. This team is rebuilding. You know what you need when you're rebuilding? A young point guard who can score, who can facilitate. He had a long frame. It was everything you would need if you're rebuilding. I don't understand this move. I don't.
I guess my worst player, I guess it would have probably been Aaron Aflalo. I just don't see how he fits with Portland. I mean, even if they want to run him at the 3, I mean, I get the depth part. But even if they want to run him at the 3, you have Nicholas Batum, you have Wes Matthews, Damian Lillard is just, he's going to jack, Wes Matthews going to jack, Aldridge going to jack. So I just don't see, I really don't see where he's getting shots. That's, I really don't, regardless, a lot of people are going to be like, well, he runs with the second unit, but most people don't come in with a clean 5-second unit. One or two of those guys will always be on the court, whether it's Aldridge and Lillard, Aldridge and Wes Matthews. I just don't see where Aflalo was getting his shot. So I guess that would be my pick. I guess that would be my pick.
My worst grade, I'm kind of torn. I didn't know if I wanted to give my worst grade to Philly or Phoenix. Because Phoenix, like you said, they pissed off Goran Dragic by bringing in Isaiah Thomas only to move Isaiah Thomas. They got rid of 3 point guards in one day. I don't understand what they're doing. I think I have to give my worst grade to Phoenix. And I say that because Philly wasn't going anywhere anyway. What they did was horrible, but nobody had any expectations for that team. But Phoenix was there. Phoenix is right there fighting for that 8th place spot. A few moves and they're in. Instead, they just totally obliterated what they had. I don't have any idea what they did, and I give them my worst grade. They get an F for the day. I don't know what you guys are doing, Phoenix. I don't get it.
Well, I was going to go Phoenix until I started thinking about it. First of all, my worst team is definitely going to Philly. It's going to go to Philly because I just don't think you trade talent. Michael Carter-Williams was a talented guy. I know you guys in the comment section down here somewhere going to be like, but he's injury prone. But listen, man, you do not trade talent, especially for nothing. You don't trade talent for nothing.
JaVale McGee, who's injury prone too. He's old and injury prone. I take young and injury prone over old and injury prone any day.
Yeah, I just don't think you trade talent for nothing. And so Philly, you definitely gets my F grade. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I hope somebody in that front office know what you guys have planned, hopefully. Because right now, if you guys think you're getting free agents over there, if you think when you draft players, they're staying there, they're going to be like, all right, I'm going to play this 3 to 4 or 5 years, and I'm out. I'm out.
Yes, sir.
So
definitely.
It's nothing to look forward to over there in Philly, in my opinion. But I know what the Suns are doing. They said, Oklahoma City made them moves. They said, we ain't getting that 8th spot. It's time to blow it up. The funny thing is, the funny thing is the Suns was one of the most exciting teams last year.
I know.
They was right there this year. They messed up the chemistry from last year from bringing in Isaiah Thomas. If they was going to move Dragic, you'd be like, okay, you would think to yourself, okay, at least they got Isaiah Thomas, but then they go and trade him. I mean, if Philly got an F and the Suns, I really don't get it. I don't know what both of them deserve Fs. F pluses. F plus plus.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So mine's to Philly, yours to Phoenix. It is well deserving.
They both fail.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this.
Okay.
It was a lot of trades. Some were expected, some were unexpected, completely unexpected. See Phoenix and Philly. But for me, it was one deal I was really expecting to see go down that I didn't see. And I want to know if you saw any, but let me get into mine first. When you look at that East, you got Brooklyn, you got Miami, and you got Charlotte. All three of those teams are right there on the bubble. When Miami made their move, like I said, this is all prior to the Chris Bosh news. Miami made their move. It was one deal I was waiting to see happen. Brooklyn has 3 max player contracts on their team. That's Deron Williams, looking like trash. It's Joe Johnson, who can look good tonight and look like trash tomorrow. And it's Brook Lopez, who he don't look like nothing because he can't stay healthy. And then when he out there, he's not really a factor. Well, when you look at Charlotte really bought into the whole concept of Lance Stevenson. They really thought he was going to be it. And it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. He's been getting a lot of non-injury DNPs. His numbers are in the dumps. He's having like 8-point games, 4-point games. And if I'm not mistaken, Lance Stevenson is from New York. So they talked about Joe Johnson for Lance Stevenson. I really expected to see this deal. I thought Joe Johnson would have helped Charlotte tremendously. And I thought maybe if any place could get Lance Stevenson back to what everybody thought he would be, it would have been Brooklyn. So you send him to Brooklyn. That would have helped both teams. I believe that would have helped the Nets and it would have helped the Hornets. Instead, that deal didn't happen. And I don't know, man. I think it could really hurt both of those teams. That's the deal I expected to see that I didn't see.
Well, mine would definitely have to go to my Chicago Bulls. This is not a homer pick. I really thought it was rumors going around that there was going to be a trade for Kevin Martin. And I mean, since Minnesota just giving away players anyway for guys, I mean, they gave away Thad Young for Kevin Garnett. Since they just giving away players, I actually thought the trade was going to happen. They were saying that it was going to be Kevin Martin for Tony Snell, and I think his name is Bairstow. Anyway, a guy that don't even play for the Bulls, but they were saying that trade was going to happen. For whatever reason, it did not go through. Then there was another trade, which I was hoping didn't happen, another trade rumor saying that the Brooklyn Nets was going to trade Deron Williams to the Bulls for Taj Gibson, which I was praying to the basketball gods that it didn't happen. Thank God it didn't. But in my opinion, I think the Chicago Bulls definitely could have used Kevin Martin. Because in my opinion, I like Jimmy Butler more so playing the 3. Kevin Martin could have played the 2. D Rose could have played the 1 with Gasol and Noah. And I think we would have been a problem in the East. Not just the East, in the NBA. What would you have
done with Mike Dunleavy?
I mean, he would have came off the bench. I think Dunleavy could have came off the bench. In my opinion.
You like Martin better than Dunleavy?
I like, yeah. I'm definitely an all-around better player. And plus, Dunleavy has had some injury issues this year. He missed probably all of January. And I mean, we've been out there playing with Tony Snell, which I am, he's not I'm not a fan of Tony Snell. I call him Tony Smell. But I call him Tony Smell. But I mean, I think we could have definitely used Kevin Martin. But for whatever reason, we didn't pull the trigger, excuse me. And we have to see. I definitely don't think the Bulls have enough firepower in the East to win the East. I mean, Cleveland is cooking, and a lot of people made a lot of other moves, and I just don't see it without us making that move. So I would definitely give mine to the Chicago Bulls.
Let me ask you this. Let me kind of deviate from the program a little minute. We're notorious for that if you're new here, but let me ask you this. You guys made what's possibly one of the biggest offseason moves of the year in bringing in Pau Gasol, who just had his his double-double streak broke. He had like 14 straight games with a double-double. Do you not feel like that move was enough? You want another move?
Well, I mean, Powell is. I really didn't even see Powell playing this well when we picked him up, but he's playing phenomenal. And I mean, we had some injury issues. I don't think it's enough, man. Especially the way the Cavs are out there making moves, man. For whatever reason, people never dealt players to the Heat, but they are more than willing to trade people to the Cavs. I don't get it. I wouldn't help the Cavs out at all, But I mean, with the way the Cavs looking, they are out there cooking people right now. I just don't think it's enough. I probably see. I might need to say before another show, but I see the Cavs coming out the East, man. I see them coming out the East.
Ooh, Atlanta might have something to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I don't think Atlanta could beat the Cavs in a 7-game series. I don't.
Don't get them, Jeff Teague. Hold off. Hold Kyle Korver back. Wait, Kyle.
You know, I want to shout out Atlanta though, because they was one of them teams. They was the team that I would pick that, you know, didn't make a move. They didn't be like, oh, we need one more piece, can we right there? So kudos to them for sticking with their nucleus, sticking with what got them the best record, well, one of the best records in the NBA. Because, you know, most teams would be like, well, we got the best record in the NBA, but we need one more piece. But Atlanta stood stern, and they saying we're gonna rock out with what we got. So kudos to them.
Yeah, man. #1 team on the East and the West made no moves. Golden State didn't make any moves either. They both went with it. If it's not broke, don't fix it philosophy, and I agree with it.
Me too. I agree too.
Well, let's wrap, bro. We don't want to hold them too long because they want to go watch some sports or something.
Yeah, I can dig it.
I guess.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is our first episode over here. We would do this periodically, more often, so you guys could definitely bang that subscribe button over here. So we're trying to get our subscribers up over here because we want to archive this.
We need you guys to subscribe over here. Even if you plan on tuning in on the regular scheduled program every Sunday, we need you to subscribe here so we can archive our videos here. The magic number is 500. We're trying to get 500 subscribers here, and it's gonna help you guys out. So we need your help. Help us to help you.
Yeah, but it was an amazing show, Spade. Definitely bang that subscribe button. Also bang the like button too. It helps the show out. We appreciate all you guys for watching, showing your support every week. Spade, till next episode, bro.
Till next episode, homie.
All right, homie. Peace.
Peace.